Okay, we can start over. So we're going to talk about Silver and Six tonight. Those of you that are here live get to hear this 2 times because I forgot to push the record button. But for those of you listening now, you're caught up. So we're going to talk about Silver and Six. 6 things that I think were helpful getting there, and then 6 things that will not be helpful. So the first one is all about your mindset. And that can sound a little fruity and like it's just a bunch of, cheesiness. But I noticed a huge difference in my success and the way my team grew and even the way I led my team when I was fully in the right mindset. And what I mean by that is just believing that it'll happen. It can be really easy to start to doubt or get negative so quickly. But if you just stay focused on why you're doing it and what you're doing and stay so busy that you can't hear the doubters, then you're going to be fine. And I think Hannah's off now, or she took a video off, but she'll laugh. So I have this sticky note and it says, "Stop doubting. It always seems impossible until it's done. The month isn't over." Because every single month I would talk to Hannah and I would be like, "I'm not going to make it. It's never going to happen." And then like a week later, like a week would be left in the month and all of a sudden everything would come through. And so she was like, "Write that down so you can stop doubting yourself." And one time she maybe made a video of me saying it too. So anyway, all that to say is if you have doubts or some negativity, you're not the only one. And it really does help to get some truth in your head. Definitely spending some time just giving your business to the Lord, surrendering that, and then reminding yourself that like you've got this and you're talented and you have a good team on your side and you've got a good head on your shoulders and you have a plan. Melissa Pepping has an amazing video. I'll try to link it in the Hustle group tonight, and if I forget, remind me. But that was like the light bulb moment for me during part of my journey is just being able to like put your mindset in the right place. So first thing you have to do, put your goal all around you, like put it on your bathroom mirror, put it in your car, wherever. Just remind yourself that like you're going to do it. And one of the quotes that stuck with me is that the money and the OGV and all the stuff you need, it's already out there. Like those people live in this world. The money is in the banks. You just need to get it to you. And that can sound like really salesy and kind of weird, but if you just think about that, it's there. Now we just need to bring it to us. And for some reason that impacted me really well and just didn't make it feel so overwhelming. Just it's out there. Just bring it to you. So number 1 is mindset. Number 2 is a little more strategic. So think strategically and know what you need. So obviously for Silver, you need 2 legs at 4,000 and you need an OGV overall of 10,000. That will feel really big and then all of a sudden it won't. It's kind of crazy how it flips like that. And don't believe that just because you aren't close to it that it can't happen, because the month before I hit Silver, my OGV was like barely 6,000. So I made a really big jump in a month. So don't ever count yourself out and don't ever think that it can't happen to you. You'd be surprised. So look at your 2 legs that you need and figure out like which leg is, sometimes you kind of have like a strong leg and a little bit weaker leg, or a leg that's going to be a little bit easier to grow and another one that's not. That was my experience. So look at kind of like, okay, how much ER is already scheduled in that leg? Who do I know is already hosting classes? Who are my really strong builders in that class that I can get on board or in that leg? And look at it that way. Think about where else you have OGV coming from. I have a lot of baby legs that are not my 2 main legs. And so I always know that there's going to be overall OGV from those, even though it's not in those 2 legs. So think about the whole picture. Keep your PGV in mind that you've got some people outside of your legs ordering. Because you will need 1,000 PGV. Do you guys know what PGV is? It's like the OGV that's outside of your 2 main legs. So, and then think strategically about like who is in those legs that might be ready to talk about ER. Maybe they've ordered a few times. Who's ready to place an order? Like maybe a mom is about to have a baby, or someone has kids going back to school, or someone has a big surgery coming up, whatever is going on in their life. Know your team so you can know how you can best help them get what they need and what's going on in their life. Okay. Oh, and then this is another big one. Think about your inactives. So if you've been in Young Living for over a year, you've got people starting to pop up probably, unless you're like amazing, which I know y'all are. But you've got a few people who haven't ordered in a year, and that's like guaranteed OGV if you can show them how valuable it is to stay with Young Living. So I always try to look at that like a month in advance. So start looking at your people who are going to go inactive like next month, this month, and reach out to them, be connecting. I don't ever want someone to feel like, oh, they're just talking to me because I'm going inactive. I mean, I don't want you to go inactive, but try to like think strategically in that way too. So think strategically. Number 3, teach classes till your face falls off. Not really. But I taught a lot of classes the month that I hit silver. And people sometimes are like, I don't want to teach classes. Guys, it is like the easiest way to hit a ton of people in a short amount of time. And I know time is something that we don't have a lot of because we're all busy moms and students and all that. So schedule classes. If you feel like you've kind of exhausted your friends group, I'm sure you haven't, but if you feel that way, look at people in those 2 legs that you really need the OGB in, and think about who you could ask to host a class and invite their friends. You don't need it to be people you're enrolling. You just need the OGB to be there. So you can offer that they would get those signups if they host the class. I've done that a few times. Partner with your builders in those 2 legs to figure out how you can maybe host a class together or encourage them to be hosting classes too. But teach classes because you're not going to be able to do silver just with one-on-one. That will take a long time. So classes will be valuable. And then remember, they can be online classes too. Some of the things I've found to be the most effective online are like a specific topic class. So whether it's here's how to stay well this fall, or a back to school class, it's kind of a little bit past the time, but it's still valuable now that some moms are like, okay, my kids are actually in school, so now I can think about it. We did an emotions class one time that was very, very, very effective and generated a lot of orders. And then also going live on Facebook classes is super effective because they just can see you and like hear your heart and your personality. If you're doing in-person classes, I would recommend doing some of both. You could do some speed oiling. Again, you could do like a specific season or time, like purpose class. So like right now, a fall wellness class would be a good idea. Do an intro class, get everyone who just got their kit in the last 2 months to come over and do a what now class and teach them like how to really break it open and dig in, because they're not going to be able to experience it all and again place another order until they've really cracked it open. So number 3, teach classes until your face falls off. And number 4, consider some sort of valuable incentive, especially for that month of. So I hit silver in 6 on the last month that I had to hit it. So some people, I know Hannah hit it in 4. Is that right? 3. Fancy. So I was down to the wire and I was like, I'm doing this. And that's the only option. So I had some sort of fun incentive going on that I had been planning. Like I'd saved up some things from promos or had kind of used like ER points for my order and spent my money on a few little things I wanted to give away. So I did, I posted it all the time that month of if you got a starter kit, you got an entry. If you joined ER, you got an entry. And then you got like multiple entries if you hit the promo levels, like the 190, 250, and 300. So I had like a graphic for it. If you need any help making graphics for that kind of stuff, I know that I'm going to do a training on that sometime, but it hasn't happened yet. So if you need help, I'm happy to make them for you. And I just like got it out to everyone. I mailed it to people. I texted it to people. I put it on Facebook and just made it a really fun thing. If I hosted a class, I would tell them that any orders that happened that night got an extra entry into the drawing. And that was like really effective and spread like wildfire for some reason. So if there's a month to do an incentive, your last month hit silver in 6 is it. Alrighty, where am I at? My notes here. Okay, so the next one, number 5. Oh, hold on, I want to go back to number 4 for a second with the incentives. Along with this, you could also do something like a Ninja Red bulk buy. That's a great way to get OGB in a certain leg if you really need it. I don't recommend doing it all the time because then it doesn't really empower people. Like you're just handing them a bottle and they're not getting their own account. But it is a really good way to like get to that last little place you need to be because you can control who you have order that in a way and think strategically in that way too. How are we doing? Are you guys with me so far? Okay. So number 1 was set it in your mind, your mindset. Number 2 was think strategically. Number 3 was teach classes. Number 4 was consider some sort of incentive. And then number 5 is talk to your people until you're blue in the face. I have always seen a lot of fruit from as much as I can communicate with people, the better. And obviously this is always the goal. But that month I just like really hit it hard. So a couple of examples of this are just making sure you text like the promos and any like giveaway you're doing to people and just say, hey, I just want to make sure you saw this. I'm really excited about this month. But even going deeper than that, send them some happy mail. So you can send them a few samples, or like this month, oh, he's so cute, Jillian. You could do some sort of like roller and then include a thieves roller recipe. You don't even have to put like oils in it. You could just send it to people and help them use their oils with that tool. So especially if they're like current members, if they're not members yet, some samples of actual oils would be good. Send them an oil plan. So I started doing this a couple months ago and it was very effective. I made a little graphic that says like, okay, here's 5 things that you can do to help your family like stay focused and healthy. I had a friend that was asking me about that. And so I like made up a list of things for her to do with her oils and sent it to her. And she just like ordered everything that was on that graphic. So sometimes people just want to know what to do. And that was really helpful for her and added value. Get together with someone, make a few things with them. It's another way to talk to your people. Help them, like if they just don't know how to make a capsule or don't know how to make a roller, sit down and do it with them once. I'm the kind of person that I will learn it so much better if you do it with me versus just like telling me. So any way you can get with them in person, that's great. Share your stories on Facebook. People are watching you, even if sometimes you feel like you get 0 likes. And also, if you guys aren't friends with each other on Facebook yet, or if you're not friends with me, become friends. And then we can all like and comment on each other's stuff, because that community really, first of all, it bumps your posts up so people see them. But it shows people like, hey, they're empowering each other and they're edifying each other. And that makes it seem like something people want to be a part of. But share your stories in real life about like, we talk about this all the time. Things that are working, things that you're doing, not just selling a kit, but talking about like, here's what's happening in my real life and how this is helping my family. And yeah, basically with talking to your people, just get them using their oils and help them know that they're loved. When people feel valued and cared for, it's magical. And okay, number 6 is to get your team on board. So this is something that Hannah really encouraged me in and helped me grow. And sometimes I feel a little bit like nervous to tell people, especially like my builders under me, what I'm doing. So I don't want them to think I just want them to do it for me. But they need to know like what you're going after and to see you dreaming big and to see you taking risks and shooting for the next thing. So don't be afraid to talk to them about where you're going and what you are aiming for. And then also figuring out like, what are they going for that month? And it's going to be like mutually beneficial. So the more you pour into them and help them, you're going to see your goals get closer too. And so just supporting their dreams and seeing how that'll support yours. Okay, so those are my top 6 things. Here are the other 6 things not to do. Number 1 is give up. So that goes back to that mindset. I don't care what you have to do, but get in front of your face every day that you're going to do this and that you can do it. Number 2 is be desperate. It can feel really easy to get desperate, especially if you're like going after something and you really want it and it's maybe like the last month to get it. But know that like, even if you don't get it, you're going to be fine. But you are going to get it, and you're going to do that by loving people and empowering them and helping them. So just be careful. If you feel yourself getting to that desperate place, it's probably a good spot to go spend some time in prayer, lay it back down. This is a really big part of our life, but it's not the most important thing. It's not the only thing. So stay balanced. Speaking of balance, so number 3, don't sacrifice your boundaries. I'm pretty sure my husband almost killed me a few times when I was like going crazy. So be careful to still keep your boundaries and whatever, priorities you have, spending time with people. We definitely had to talk as a family that like, okay, this month looks different. I'm going to be teaching a lot of classes. I'm going to be gone at night. I might be on my computer some, and just setting those expectations beforehand, but set them beforehand. Otherwise it's going to be a little bit chaotic. Number 4, to not do is to post constantly about a kit sale. I don't feel like any of us do that, but I know that can start to feel like a thing you really want people to know about. But just be careful with keeping a good balance in your social media and, sharing value. Number 5 is expect your team to do it for you. Not something that I think is happening, but just be on guard for that, because I don't know, sometimes it's just a mindset that can be easy to fall into. And number 6, if you didn't hear it enough already, is don't give up. I think it deserved 2 places on the 6 things not to do. Okay, so I will type those up and put them in a little bit more organized fashion in the post. But I know some of you were taking notes and all that. So that's just kind of where my mind landed when I thought back on the journey. I will also say just 2 tips that are not really related to the list. I'm really, really glad that I hustled so hard to make it because I was down to the wire. If I went back and did it again, I would have grown a little more like sustainably, because I'll be honest, for the so I hit silver last year in August, and then I didn't hit it again in September or October. I wouldn't go back and change it because hitting silver in 6 was so exhilarating. It was awesome to get that paycheck. It was so fun to get the prize. There were a lot more people that got oils in their house that month. And so I would never go back and do that again. But if you're not racing for a deadline, like, it's okay to wait till that 6th month and grow a little bit more steadily. But if you're at that 6th month, I say put the pedal to the metal and go for it. And then I did go back and I hit silver again in November, and I never lost it since. So that mindset and just going back and believing in yourself and putting the work in really does pay off. So I'm going to stop talking now and let you guys ask questions. Let me see if I can unmute everyone. There we go.
When you talk about doing an incentive, is there a certain dollar value that you see that gets the most people to want to jump on board and do something with you?
Like the dollar amount that I spent on the amount or on the
right.
Incentive? I kind of went pretty big. I gave away an everyday oils collection. And I saw a lot of people be really interested in that, and a diffuser too. So again, you don't have to spend that kind of money, but I knew that it was like, I had a ways to go and I really wanted it. And Laura Watson had actually done that. And so I had asked her opinion because she had been in like the same boat as me. So that's where I got the idea. Yeah, I feel like something that people wouldn't like just drop money on their own. Maybe like a stretch a little bit above that is kind of good.
That's what the drawings went for, Kelsey? Like the tickets that they put in the drawing? Okay.
Yeah.
I have one piece of advice. Because we talked a lot about the hustle of reaching for silver in 6, but I find it a lot more like sustainable, how you're talking about, Kelsey, if you just break it down by month. So if you know that you have 6 months to hit silver after you hit executive, like that starts your timeline, then break into 6-month goals and work backwards. And then it doesn't seem so overwhelming. But we can definitely help you with that. Sorry.
Any other questions?
What's your most common or most successful like giveaway for kits? Like if you give away like $20 cash back or cedarwood, or what have you seen the most bang for your buck?
Just my personal or my experience and the community I live in, it hasn't been oils. They're already like, okay, I'm going to get all these oils. So I see a lot of, but like to me, that was really motivating. Like Hannah gave me a bottle of cedarwood when I got my kit, and I was all about it. So kind of feeling at your people, I just feel like cash back has been the big thing lately, or I'll like cover their shipping. So that's been the most popular for me. But what about you guys?
Also really like diffuser bracelets, or like oil pouches, like something that they can use with their kit.
I've done different things at different times, and it just, you catch some with one thing and some with another. So sometimes I really do just throw stuff at the wall and see if it sticks. And
I know Thieves Cleaner was huge for me. I got quite a few people getting the kit, and I felt like it was a step towards ER because they would
Uh-huh.
get the whole thieves cleaner and it would lead them into the ER thing.
It's a good idea. Who doesn't?
Everybody has to clean.
So I know we've talked about doing ninja block buys, but have we, or has anyone had success doing it with Thieves, the concentrated cleaner? Because since I did with Felicia the ninja last month, I obviously can't do it again. So I was thinking of having some things in my back pocket if needed. I didn't know if we've had any luck with doing it with the Thieves cleaner.
Yeah, I think that it can't hurt. It's not as much like OGB. So at that point, I don't know, maybe sometimes I've done like if you need something from Young Living, I don't know. What do you think, Hannah?
Yeah, I would look into something that's a little bit higher because there's a lot of effort on your part. But that being said, I know that Chris and Kimber had done the Thieves hand sanitizer one time and then the cleaner another time, and it did get people down the road. So it's a great thing to do, but maybe not for your last month reaching for silver.
I think I would still, I don't know, this might be bad advice, but I would still like go for a ninja bulk by your last week versus doing a thieves cleaner, just because like you never know who might be ready for it by that time of, the year than they were a month ago. So if you're talking about like back pocket things, keep that one in your back pocket still for the end. I've gotten like 8 bottles of Ninja at 10 p.m. on the last day of the month before, so you can always find some.
Another thing you can do is to help people like share for the first time. So if you think of everyone on your team, maybe if you're near silver, you're going to have probably close to 100, somewhere right around there. Then if all of them reach out and maybe only a quarter of them sign up a friend, that's 2,500. That's 2,500 OGB. And it's a great way to help people understand duplication, and it's really easy to do, and then they're going to get hooked, and it's just like a really good idea. So it's not always product driven. I know that's really easy to think about, but giving people the tools and equipment to share is also really invaluable.
Is the mascara being released this month or anything else new?
I've heard rumblings that it's coming at the Live Your Passion rally, which is next month. So I think it got pushed back a little, unfortunately, but that means I can be off the chain.
Okay. If those of us who are already too late for Silver and Six, we're still going for Silver.
Yep.
Silver in September.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, these are definitely steps that can, like, that got me back to silver even after Silver and Six was over and stuff like that. For sure.
And look at that, never giving up, Chris.
Right. Right.
I love it.
Up my other leg right here. We had a great class this weekend. It was super fun.
I heard it was really amazing.
Yeah, it was really fun. So
You guys will have to share about the new like way you're doing classes, because I know that I would love to hear about it. They've been doing like a more natural living type of setup, so
They're really neat.
awesome.
well stuff. Thanks, Jillian.
Okay, well, we can go ahead and exit out unless we have any more questions. We still have like 2 more minutes.
About Silver and Six, but I'm thinking about Christmas. Have you guys, I mean, obviously I can think of something, but I'm just curious if you've given thought to like things like that, because I know I have friends who are like, oh, I think I want a kit for Christmas, and people are kind of toward that already. Like incentives or like ways that we can do that, or maybe that's a different day.
Okay. The holiday catalog should be coming out pretty soon.
October, I think.
I think October. I didn't really feel like I had to incentivize much for the holidays. Like it kind of incentivizes itself. I've done before, like if you're looking for a kit for your wife or something, like I'll wrap it for you. But I didn't really have any takers on that, so I don't know. I kind of feel like it, as long as you keep putting the opportunity out there. I didn't feel like people needed a gift to be able to like take the plunge. Just. Okay, guys, we'll go ahead and end for tonight. I'll post the replay, and then I'll try to find a link to that Melissa Pepping video I was talking about. But if you need any help planning goals or anything, don't hesitate to reach out to me or Hannah or anybody that's in your upline. And I can't wait. I think we're going to have some more silvers before this year ends.
Bye.
Have a great night, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.